Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings and Yahoo for Monday, April the 29th. We got a 9-game MLB slate for Monday. I'm going to go through the pitcher player pool, talk about some of the pitchers that I like on this 9-game slate. Of course, I will give my 2 core plays, and then we'll talk about some of the other ones I'll be targeting. We'll look at 3 hitters, and then we'll go over some stacks and BVP plays at the end of the video. But before we do get started, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, if this is your first time checking out a video on my channel, thank you so much for clicking on the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. We're starting off at the top of the pitcher player pool today. We have Justin Verlander as our most expensive option, followed by Patrick Corbin. Both guys are over 10,000 on DraftKings. Verlander's 10,800 in a road matchup with the Twins, and Corbin at home against the Cardinals is 10,200. And just looking at this slate the night before, I don't think either guys are going to be core plays for me, because I really like Kenta Maeda here against the Giants in that ballpark, and he's 9,700. He's cheaper than Corbin. He's cheaper than Verlander. Same can be said for Yahoo. Verlander's 57, Corbin is 52, and then Maeda is all the way down there at 41. So Maeda actually might be my favorite option to pay up for. Sure, you could go to Verlander, you could go to Corbin. I think if I had to play one guy, I would probably roll with Corbin over Verlander. I think Corbin's matchup's just a little bit better against a Cardinals team that does have some strikeouts in their lineup. It's a pretty good lineup, especially the 1 through 5. Once you get to like the bottom of the lineup, though, it gets pretty easy for Corbin. There's some strikeouts down there. This Twins lineup been hitting the ball really well lately. It's just a scary spot for Verlander. I know he went out and dominated against the Twins last time he played them. But I think this is a spot where Verlander might could struggle a bit. I don't think he's going to get blown up by any means, but I don't think he goes out there and gets 30, 35 DraftKings points again. I think you're more likely to get like 6 innings, 6 Ks, and maybe 2 runs out of Verlander here. That's kind of what I'm expecting out of him. This Twins lineup is just so good, especially the top of the lineup. There's not that many strikeouts. When you get to the bottom, there's definitely strikeouts at the bottom, but the top of the lineup, there's a lot of good hitters. Not many strikeouts either. Not the greatest matchup for Verlander in my opinion. So I'd probably roll with Corbin for 600 less, but like I said, Maeda is the guy that I really like. He's 9,700 on DK, and he's 41 on Yahoo. His matchup is great today. He gets to face this Giants team that just really is not a good offense. They have a ton of strikeouts in their lineup. They're one of the worst offenses in the league. It's a great pitcher's park, probably the best pitcher's park by far in the majors, pitching in San Francisco and Oracle Park. Really good spot for Maeda. This guy has a lot of talent, a lot of upside, especially when he's on. Against this Giants team, we could see him just go out there and absolutely mow this team down. So I really like Maeda here, especially if he's going to come in lower owned than Corbin and lower owned than Verlander. He makes for a great tournament play with the upside that he gives you. Going back to Yahoo, though, looking for an SP2 there. With how cheap Maeda is at 41, you don't need to save a ton of salary for your SP2. You don't need to really go dumpster diving for an SP2. So on Yahoo, I do like pairing Zach Wheeler with Maeda. That still leaves you an average of $14 remaining per player, which you can definitely work around. Wheeler I do like here at home against the Reds. I think out of all the pitchers going on this slate, Maeda definitely has one of the better matchups. I would say Zach Wheeler's matchup's probably up there. When just looking at some of the pitchers and their matchups here, I do like Wheeler's spot against the Reds. This is a Reds team that does have strikeouts in their lineup, especially like when you get through the 5 through 9. Votto doesn't strike out much. Suarez will K some versus righties. Winker doesn't strike out a ton, but Puig will K some versus righties. Dietrich's not that great of a hitter. He will strike out. Tucker Barnhart, not that great of a hitter, and he will K as well. Schebler will strike out. You've got the pitcher in there. Jose Iglesias versus righties is not that great, and he does K a bit as well. So I really like Zach Wheeler. Pairing him with Maeda on Yahoo still leaves you pretty decent salary. Wheeler's only $43 on Yahoo, which I think is a pretty nice price. On DraftKings, it's definitely tough to play Maeda and Wheeler together because Maeda's 9,700, Wheeler's 9,300. That only leaves you like 3,700 or 3,800 remaining per player if you play those two guys together. So looking at DraftKings for a cheaper SP2 to pair with Maeda, assuming Yanni Chirinos is the long man for the Rays today, I really like him at 7,900 against the Royals. Right now it looks like Ryan Stanek is going to open for the Rays. He's probably going to pitch about 1 inning And then it should be Chirinos coming in for about 5-6 innings. He'll throw about 80 to 90 pitches against this Royals team. It's just not that good of an offense. Assuming this is the lineup that they roll out, their projected lineup, there are some Ks in this lineup. We've seen some pitchers this year against the Royals have a lot of success. I think Tanaka had a ton of success against the Royals. I could see Chirinos doing really well here, especially when he gets towards the bottom of the order. He'll get to face pretty bad hitters and hitters that will strike out. Soler, Owings, Maldonado, Billy Hamilton. Really the only hitters I'm worried about in this Royals lineup are Merrifield, Mondesi, and maybe Alex Gordon. Dozier's not as good versus righties. Rhino Hearn's a pretty good power hitter, but he hasn't been as good when it comes to contact this year. He's been striking out more, so I do like playing pitchers against the Royals, especially on a slate where there's just not a lot of good pitching options in my opinion. There's not a lot of guys that stand out. Yahoo Chirinos is one of those guys that does stand out. I like him quite a bit here. Just assuming he's the long man, it looks like he's going to be. He was expected to start, and then the Rays came out and said they're going to use an opener, and Chirinos will follow. So, assuming Chirinos is the long reliever, I think he's a great play at 7,900 on DraftKings. I like pairing him with Maeda, and that still leaves you almost 4,100 remaining per player to work around with your bats. But now talking about some of the other pitchers we could look to, besides the guys I've talked about, Mike Soroka I wouldn't mind against the Padres. He's not my favorite play at 8,600, but he will definitely be in my player pool. He'll probably be in one or two of my 20 lineups. I don't mind playing some Soroka today. Looking at some of the other pitchers, maybe if you're trying to find some value, I think going to a guy like John Means as a value play is not the worst idea. He's only 7K on DraftKings. He did have some pretty good success against the White Sox the last time he faced them. This White Sox team does have a lot of strikeouts in their lineup versus lefties. There is some power in this lineup, but there's plenty of strikeouts for John Means here. He did put up 22 or 23 DK points the last time he faced the White Sox, so I could see him being a good value play. I think Manny Banuelos, however you say his name, could also be a pretty good value on the other side of this game. He's 7,500 on DraftKings. He gets to face this Orioles team that is probably one of the worst offenses in the league. Has plenty of strikeouts in their lineup as well. So Banuelos at 7,500, Means at 7K. Both guys in consideration for me as value pitchers, under 8K. But that's probably where I'm looking to. Just recapping real quick. If I'm paying up, Maeda is my favorite option at 9,700. I'll mix in some Corbin, mix in some Verlander, mix in some Wheeler. But I expect Maeda to be one of my higher owned pitchers today. In the mid-range, I do like Soroka a bit. I love Chirinos at 7,900, assuming he pitches today. And then if you're looking for cheap pitchers, Banuelos at 7,500, Means at 7K. Those are two guys you could look to for value. But let's talk about some of the hitters that I'll be looking to on this slate. So starting off at first base, there's two. I like a first base one-off play on DraftKings and then a one-off play on Yahoo. So on DraftKings, G-Man Choi at 4K versus Brad Keller. As a one-off, I do like quite a bit. I don't think I'm going to be stacking the Rays up a ton today. They'll probably be in a few of my lineups, or I'll have a few Rays stacks, but I don't expect them to be one of my core stacks here. There are pretty good hitters in this lineup, though, so I could see them having success versus Brad Keller, but the guy that I really want to target is G-Man Choi. Projected about third versus Keller, only 4K on DraftKings. As a one-off, I think he makes a great play. If you want to do a mini stack and maybe stack Lowe, Pham, and Choi, a three-man stack, you could do that as well. Don't think I'm going to be really going to the bottom of the Rays lineup, but the top of the lineup, the 1 through 3, the 1 through 4, maybe even throw Garcia in there. Those are some bats you can definitely target versus Brad Keller. This is a guy that I've stacked up against a couple times this year. Sometimes it's worked out, sometimes it hasn't. I don't think he's a gas can by any means. I don't think there's really any gas cans going on this slate, but Keller is one of the pitchers I wouldn't mind target against. So I do like G-Man Choi at 4K. And then if we go over to Yahoo, G-Man Choi is a little bit expensive at 15 over here. I do like punting this position on Yahoo. I think Matt Adams at the minimum $7 as a one-off makes a ton of sense here versus Michael Wacha. Right now he is in the projected lineup for the Nationals, projected at 5th. Wacha's another guy that I think we can definitely target against on this slate. I do like some of these Nationals bats, specifically the top of the lineup, the 1 through 4, 1 through 5, throw Adams in there. Don't think I'll be going to Keyboom or Dozier, but the 1 through 5, maybe Yan Gomes is a cheaper catcher you could look to. Michael Wacha, just not that good of a pitcher, doesn't get strikeouts, pitches to contact. He's one of the guys I wouldn't mind stacking up against as well. Do like some Nationals bats, and I do like Matt Adams over on Yahoo, where he's minimum salary. And then looking to some hitters, two of my other hitters I really like are from the Astros today. I think the Astros are probably one of my favorite stacks on the slate, and Jose Altuve at 4,700 on DraftKings and at $19 on Yahoo. I really like here versus Jake Odorizzi. Odorizzi is a guy that I have played at times this year, but this is a spot where I'll definitely be on the other side. Not looking to Odorizzi here, looking to stack against him, especially when you look at the matchup he has versus this Astros lineup that's just so good. Kind of from top to bottom, this lineup really, there's no easy outs. But like the 1 through 5, the 1 through 6 from the Astros, just a ton of good hitters, a ton of guys that can hit home runs. Guys don't really strike out. Springer, Altuve, Bregman, Brantley, Correa. Love that 5-man stack on DraftKings and Yahoo if you can fit it in. Looking at DraftKings pricing, pretty nice pricing on Altuve and Bregman at 4,700. Brantley at 4,800, Correa at 4,800 I think are great plays as well. They do have one of the higher totals on this slate at 4.9 runs. I think right now the highest total is the Red Sox at 5 runs. They're the highest yet at 5 runs. Braves have 5 implied run total as well. Then you got the Astros at 4.9, so maybe they go a little bit overlooked today. I do like some of these Astros bats versus Odorizzi, Altuve, and Bregman, two guys I really like. Bregman 4,700 on DraftKings as well. On Yahoo, he's at $20. I think Altuve and Bregman make for a great like 2-man stack if you want to do a 2-man stack. If you want to throw Brantley in there or Correa in there to maybe do a 3 or 4-man stack, you could do that as well. Just really like some of these Astros bats, the 1 through 5, the top of the lineup. That's where I'll really be looking to versus Odorizzi. But these are my 5 plays today, guys, for DraftKings and for Yahoo. Now we will quickly go over some stacks I like, some of the teams we haven't talked about yet. So I mentioned the Astros. They're my favorite stack. We'll just go over that real quickly. The Braves I do like a little bit versus Marchavich. I don't know really how to say his name. The lefty for the Padres. The Braves do have some pretty good righties that can hit lefties well. Albies, Donaldson, Acuna, 3 guys that really come to mind. Even Camargo's been pretty good versus lefties this year. Freeman, obviously, you can play as well versus lefties, even though he's not on the positive side of his platoon splits. He can still hit lefties very well. So, some Braves bats I like. Obviously, like the Astros. Some Red Sox versus Frankie Montas. I think you could look there. Do like some Nationals versus Michael Wacha. That he's a pitcher I'll be stacking up against today. Maybe some other stacks. Throw some Rays in there versus Brad Keller. Wouldn't mind doing that. Maybe some Rockies versus Zach Davies. Even though Davies isn't a pitcher that gets blown up much, it is a really good hitter's park. Davies not really get a lot of strikeouts. He pitches in the zone. Guys like Blackman, Story, Murphy, Arenado could definitely take advantage of Davies here. He's not going to strike them out. He's going to let them put the ball in play. And in Miller Park, a good hitter's park, you could definitely see the Rockies have some success. And they have a 4.4 implied run total, which is one of the lower ones on this slate. So I doubt many people will be stacking up the Rockies. I don't mind going to the Rockies today as maybe a secondary stack, or if you're looking for a lower owned stack that does have upside, you could look there. But I think that's it for stacks, guys. Let's quickly go over some BVP before we end the video. So there's about 10 BVP plays. You can pause the video right now if you want to look at all of them, but I'm just going to cover the ones that really stand out. So Michael Brantley's got some really good BVP versus Odorizzi, 8 for 26, 2 home runs. Jonathan Scope has homered 3 times off of Verlander, 4 for 19, 3 home runs off of him. Joe Panik, 6 for 14 with a home run off Maeda. 3 of these Giants have hit Maeda well, but that's not going to really keep me off of Maeda. Still love Maeda today, even though some of those Giants have BVP against him. Howie Kendrick really hit Michael Wacha well. It'll be interesting to see if he's in the lineup. He's gone 9 for 13 with the home run, 692 batting average off Michael Wacha. So Kendrick's a guy you could be looking out for as a BVP play if he's potentially in the lineup. But that's it for BVP. I think that is it for the video, guys. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you click that like button down below and make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Or like always, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Good luck tonight. Peace.